Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am so excited to be here today because I want to talk to you about Ctrl+Alt+Create. Now, before we can do that, one of the things that we need to do is we need to do something else called Ctrl+Alt+Delete. By show of hands, how many of you have used a computer in here? Okay, all right, good. Now, while you use a computer, if you have too many programs open, what happens? It slows down, right? It gets bogged down. It makes it harder for you to do your work. And sometimes it even gets locked up. And when that happens, what you need to do, you do Ctrl+Alt+Delete, so you open up a task manager so you can shut down those programs that are not actually allowing you to complete your work. So when you talk about your life, that's the same thing that applies. We need to learn how to control, alt, but also delete stuff that we don't need, stuff that's not serving us. When you have control, that means that you have an opportunity to make a decision about your life. But when you do what we call alt, that means there's a different way of thinking. There's a different way of approaching the situation. All of us have been given opportunities to learn from other people. But then you have to be able to realize that there are things in my life that are not serving me. Things in my life that aren't actually getting me to where I want to be. So those things need to be deleted. There are some friends in here that you need to delete. There's some habits in here you need to delete. There's some things in your life that aren't getting you where you want to be. So before we can even talk about creating anything, we have to be willing to go through our life and say, what's not serving us? You know, last year I had a storage unit behind my house. It was actually a carport and in fact, I'm gonna show you. Because I want to make sure that you understand exactly what I'm dealing with. So this was my storage unit. It was my carport. It was built when my house was built. This thing had been, it had been in disrepair for years. As you can tell, it has a flat roof. So of course, when it rains, what happens? The water sits on top and it leaks through. And there were more holes in this thing than I could even imagine. And I even got a quote to have it fixed. The guy told me it was going to be $12,000 to fix the roof. I said, are you serious? Are you kidding me? 12 grand to fix the roof? Yes, 12 grand to fix the roof. And that wasn't going to fix the siding. That was just the roof. So I actually said, okay, listen, this is not serving me. It's going to cost too much to actually have this thing repaired. So what I did, I said, okay, I'm going to have to get rid of it. I got a quote to have it torn down. The guy came out and told me, he said, okay, it'd be $4,000 just to tear it down and take it. I'm like, what? $4,000 just to tear a building down? A brand new one will cost me $8,000. So this is what I wound up doing. I wound up getting my new building. Now, the funny thing about this was, before I could get this one put up, I had to get the old one torn down. I had to delete the old building. And I did it myself, brick by brick, hand by hand, board by board. But I knew that, okay, first of all, I couldn't afford the $4,000 to get it torn down. I couldn't afford the $12,000 to get the roof fixed. But I made way for something new. I had to come to a point in my life where I realized, okay, look, that building that I had, it wasn't serving me. There was nothing I could do with it. In fact, when my wife parked, when she got out of her vehicle, water was dropping right on her head. And that was not going over too well. So I realized I had to get rid of it. But I also knew that there was something else that was possible. Something else that could actually be utilized for the sake of, and we're not at the Q&A yet, I just wanted to get off that screen. But I wanted to make sure that I had made the way for something new to be put in. Each and every one of you, you have an opportunity to live the life that you've dreamed. But there's some things that you're going to have to let go. There's some things that you're going to have to change. There's some habits that you're going to have to change. All of you have an opportunity to make the world a better place. But if you don't realize that, you will not live up to your potential. Several years ago, I had the chance to go to Guyana, South America. and I spoke in their primary school. They don't have elementary, middle, and high school. They have primary and secondary. And primary goes from first grade till about the sixth grade. Secondary goes from seventh grade up until the 12th grade. When I spoke at that primary school, I asked them a question. I said, how many of you consider yourself a leader in here? Stand up. 80% of the students stood up. And I told them, I said, okay, I want you to look around. I want you to look and see who is standing up and who is sitting down. Because even the ones that are standing up, they have somebody looking up to them. But they considered themselves a leader. And just because you're in this room right now, you are a leader to somebody. There's somebody looking up to you. It could be a cousin, it could be a brother or sister. There's somebody in your family that's younger than you that is looking up to you. If you realize that you have a responsibility, if you realize somebody's watching you, then you'll carry yourself differently. You'll put yourself in a position to where you can be a model for them. But I told even the ones that were sitting down and said, listen, there's somebody watching you as well. A lot of you don't realize how influential you are. I mean, seriously, you don't realize the impact that you can make. But if you take that to heart, if you realize that you can create a life that somebody would want to emulate, somebody would want to follow, then you would realize that how much power you really have. By show of hands, how many of you have younger sisters or brothers? Okay, all right. Okay, so you actually have a built-in audience. Somebody that is really listening and watching you. I was doing an event at the Mobile Marriott a couple of years ago. And I lived less than a mile from that hotel. I forgot something. I left something at home. Everyone had gone to a workshop. I said, okay, I only have one time, just one chance to go home and get what I need to get. At the time, my 10-year-old son, he said, hey, Dad, can I ride with you? I said, come on, son. So we left the hotel, and I'm driving. I'm trying to get home. I'm doing my best to make sure, okay, I only have one time to go. I can't come back. I got to get everything I need this one time. And while I'm thinking in my head of all the stuff that I could get or need, my son, sitting in the passenger seat of the car, he looks over to me and he says, Dad, I'm proud of you. And when he said that, it hit me. He was watching me. He was watching me. So many of you guys, y'all have y'all heroes on, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, in the movies and magazines. But I tell adults, why can't our children, superheroes, sit across the table from them? Why can't they have dinner or breakfast with their hero? When you realize somebody's watching you, you walk different. You carry yourself different. You make sure that you show up because somebody is looking at you. If you want to create a better world, if you want to create a better organization, if you want to create a better community, you realize the weight that comes with you stepping up. And I want to applaud each and every one of you because you could be anywhere else today, but you're here. And you're making sure that you're getting the information that you need in order for you to make a difference. So the future is waiting. I'm looking at the future. It's in this room. 20 years from now, I don't know where I'm going to be. 20 years from now, y'all are going to be standing in these shoes, doing this work, making a difference for somebody else. If you realize that, you're taking it a little more seriously. You'll learn what you need to learn. You'll actually get the help that you need. So listen, I have something for everybody in this room. Everybody. If you have your phones, if you take it out, and if you scan this QR code, it's going to take you to my website. On that site, there's going to be a graphic. When you click on that, you'll be able to I have MP3s there. I have a couple of videos there to encourage and motivate you. I even have some music, which I did, but, okay, well, all right. Well, whenever you get a chance, or you can just go to my website, Saconiprince.com. All right, now with that being said, I want to know, are there any questions? Any questions? Any comments or criticisms? I take them all. Okay, so was I clear enough about the fact that you have an opportunity to make a difference? Was I clear enough about the fact that you have a chance to model what somebody else can do? Was I clear enough about the fact that you have a responsibility to change the world in which you live? Okay, because I'm telling you, when you leave out of this place, some of you are going to go back to the same, but some of you won't. Some of you will take to heart what I said. Some of you will realize that you have a chance to pour into somebody else. If I knew when I was your age what I would be doing right now, I probably wouldn't even. I used to stutter when I was younger. I had a speech impediment. I had a hard time getting my words out, but one thing I realized is that I had something to say. So I didn't allow my impediment to keep me from showing up for those who I was called to serve. They say the number one fear in the world is public speaking. I'm so quick to tell people I'm afraid not to. Because I realize what I've been given. And what I want you to do is understand what you've been given. You've been given a tremendous opportunity to make a difference today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. And if you start that process, you'll put yourself in a better position to make the world a better place. With that being said, I want to thank you for your time.